if we move to the Christian Bible for a moment and we go to Mark 8:36, right? We'll go to a popular Bible verse that states, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" Right? Now, the purpose of this verse is to discuss this idea in modern society that we have of the rat race, where every guy has this mentality: oh, I'm going to make the most amount of money, and I'm going to get the most amount of money, and I'm going to have the nicest penthouse, and I'm going to have the nicest car, I'm going to have the nicest mansion. And it's like, okay, it makes sense. I mean, if you get to the top 5%, top 10% of society, you have the income to buy a car that's nice, to buy a nice place to live. And let's be real, a lot of these penthouses look the same. Even if you're looking at a penthouse in Miami and Dubai, the inside of it, I mean, it's not so different from each other, right? It's not so different when you buy like like an Audi R, like a car that costs 100,000 or 300,000, right? So let's introduce the idea that you don't need to be number one. You don't need to make the most amount of money to become happy, nor should you even try, right? Because when you're trying to get the number one spot, you can think of you competing against 500 other people to kind of get that number one spot. You're going to take a lot of heat trying to be number one, trying to be the best. Is it even worth it to try to be number one, to try to be the best? Are you going to even become happy trying to become number one or trying to become the best? Or do you just need to become generally successful while still maintaining your morals and integrity? And that's pretty much what it's all about. When we look at the verse, we say, what does a man have to gain if he gains the whole world and loses himself and loses his soul? What is a guy gaining when he buys a yacht, when he buys a nice car, when he buys a nice penthouse, and he lost himself and he lost his soul in the process, right? I see it all the time where guys, they're focused on making millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars. They sacrifice their morals, they sacrifice their ethics. They lost a lot of friends along the way. They lost connections to their family along the way. They wanted to leave the girl that cared about them to kind of pay money to people to be around them that don't really care about them. And it's cool and all when you're living life in that fast lane, in that express, right? But what was the point of making all that money and living a higher quality life if you're doing things to destroy yourself, if you're doing things to damage yourself, if you sacrifice who you are internally, if you sacrifice your own happiness in order to achieve it? And that's what it's all about. It's about becoming successful, becoming happier. And I still ain't, I still didn't bend the knee. I still didn't have to, I still didn't have to go through with things that I really wasn't comfortable with. And, I'm not judging anyone that does that, but I'm just saying, what was the point of becoming successful and buying things that make you happier if you aren't happy generally internally? Because a lot of people just want to be happy. They're trying to use the money to buy things to make them happy. You don't need to buy the most amount of things to make you happy. You become a little bit more successful, then you become comfortable. Then you don't have to worry about the bills. Then you can go travel. Then you can go meet people. After that, the rest of the happiness isn't going to come from more money. It's going to come from internal. Internal, right? So what is the point of gaining everything nice in the world if you lose yourself in the process? And the point of that is to not lose sight of who you are. Is to remember, this is who I am. These are the rules I abide by. This is the life I want to live. I want to get successful, but I want to do it the right way. That's what it's about.